Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ludi Tonight on SplatoonTourney. My name is Seth. I'll be your host tonight. My first time hosting here on Ludi Tonight. Thanks, Falco, back at home, for letting me be here. On the mic with me, I have Poke and Greg. And up top, you can see we have Zestfest Splat, excuse me, versus the Yellow Jackets. This is a Division 4 match that we have for you folks this evening, opening up the night. And man, both of these teams are just hot and ready to go, so I'm going to throw the mic over to our commentators. You guys, I mean, what the heck? Take it away.
All right. So we have this really interesting Div 4 matchup going on here. I'm personally very familiar with Zestfest as a team because I'm a low ink player, and for a long time, Zestfest was kind of the always a bridesmaid, never a bride in low ink. They kept getting right to the end of low ink and not quite able to get it done. The whole team and was somehow able to beat them. But now they've since moved past that. They've moved up to this Div 4 level, and I'm really excited to see how they do here against this Yellow Jackets team.
Yeah, Yellow Jackets, a team I could speak to a little better. A team that has some veterans on it. I know General Storm, old member from License to Krill, back even before my days on License to Krill. So, and you know, Dio, another veteran. So a lot of players. Just kind of it's an interesting contrast. You have Zestfest, to, you know, a year off from winning Little Squid League, and like you said, some really high placings in low ink. You know, definitely a team that is kind of on the rise, and now, you know, Yellow Jackets, a team that's some old veterans trying to just get back into it and have some fun. I'm really interested to see how these two teams compare.
I do have to say, there was a tweet earlier. I'm gonna read it verbatim so that this is not my words. Dio said, "Yellow Jackets playing our Div 4 Ludi set tonight. Come watch my washed gameplay." That's not me saying that. That's them saying it. So who knows what we're gonna see from them.
Yeah, we will have to see if they are adequately washed or if they still have a little gas in the tank. Definitely excited though, and then just looking at the roster, so you know, we only have 4 members for Yellow Jacket, but a whole lot more for Zestfest, so they definitely have a lot of flexibility as far as what they do with comp, subbing members in and out. Kind of peeking at their roster, it seemed like they had a good mix of some one tricks and also some, you know, different roles. I saw they had a backliner that primarily does splatlings and a backliner that will do E-leaders, so really just kind of a lot of options, which is interesting in a format like Ludi, where you have this kind of long set list that you have, you know, over a week to prepare for. It's going to be interesting to see what they kind of choose depending on the map mode.
Yeah, and speaking of map modes, we have our first map coming in, Museum Rainmaker. I feel like this has been a staple in map list since the very beginning of the game, but recently it did have those just like little changes. I know the spinner has been adjusted, so now there's like a slight ramp to it. I wonder if that's going to play into how these teams are playing this Museum Rainmaker game.
Yeah, it seems like they wanted to make that ramp that jump just a little more appealing rather than teams just falling off of that right away. Just trying to get that first checkpoint quickly out of the way and make the rest of the game easier. We see the weapons coming out. We have a double dually comp on the side of Yellow Jackets, going with the Order Splat dualies and the Tetras. Let's see what those can do.
I also do have to note here, we see heavy edit splatling coming out on both sides. I know I'm a big fan of that weapon. One of my good friends, every time that they see a heavy edit come out, they say, "Oh my gosh, heavy edit mention!"
Yeah, both teams going with the heavy edit for their cooler option rather than even going for the heavy edit with the crab tank instead. And we see early a nice double on the side of Yellow Jackets here. It'll throw me off a little if the Yellow Jackets are not the yellow team. That's going to take some adjusting.
You expect, it's like, wait a minute. The yellow is not the yellow team. Oh, but this hammer coming through, picking off Storm, but getting traded back out. This Rainmaker not really able to get anywhere past mid so far.
Yeah, and we see it wasn't the heavy that had the crab tank. It was the Stamper there, so that was able to just kind of delay things enough. This Rainmaker just is kind of stuck firing in mid, not really able to get very far.
Yeah, it looks like the, I almost said Yellow Jackets again. Looks like Zestfest was able to actually be pushed back in their plat. Yellow Jackets are going to claim that check. Big first opening here. Although we have burned off a mid. It took a while for them to feel it out, but it seems like they're starting to get their mojo going. And Yellow Jackets, now with 2 down on the side of Zestfest, looks like they're going to get past this check if they can just pick up that Rainmaker.
Yeah, this is big. You're so vulnerable when you're going for that dunk, and the fact that they lost nobody on that dunk and then were able to get kills after means they're going to get a lot more points, as you see the nice Zuka shots there opening up. And then they get the pop here. They're going to try to squeeze in a few more points. Not quite able to, but 23, really good start here.
I really respect that play. Just going for the Rainmaker, trying to just cheese the little extra point, because, you know, that might matter at the end. They didn't end up getting any extra points, unfortunately, there, but it's still really fun kind of plays.
Yeah, definitely have to keep the team aggressive, and you know, when you're rolling with, you know, Tetras and Splat Dualies, you have to stay aggressive, have to stay in their face. So we see that, you know, the pressure is staying on. This push ended, but you know, Zestfest hasn't even had a chance to get back to mid now. They're already defending again and have to be really careful now that checkpoint's out of the way. It's not going to take much for Yellow Jackets to secure some kills and push this even further, but right now they are kind of stuck in a corner with this Rainmaker, trying to throttle as long as they can, and it looks like this is a good opportunity for Zestfest to get some points on the board.
Yeah, it really took them a lot of effort there just to reset back to a more neutral position here in mid, and even though they still have a lot of blue ink around here in mid, they still have a long way to go if they want to even break that check. Ooh, that bomb! Also, that's really not good for them there, having to go down a player as they're trying to push. Yeah, they're going to lose that Rainmaker before even able to break that check.
Yeah, and I think that's just the feeling of, hey, we're over halfway into this game, we haven't really scored, need to move a little faster, and just kind of couldn't get around that bomb in the hurry. That's what ended up taking them out, and we see the Zuka is ready again here as Yellow Jackets again trying to set up for another push. Dio locking them out with the crab tank. So again, you're just kind of in this spot where, you know, I think Yellow Jackets is pretty content with taking their time, and if it ends up being a situation where the members of Zestfest go down, they could get a KO here. So really have to play careful if you're Zestfest.
And I just want to point out, what are these dualies cooking? They jumped into the bats of Zestfest here, and they're getting picks off there, not able to get rid of these dualies. Almost gets a second one in there. And honestly, even though they weren't really able to translate that into more points off the scoreboard, the Rainmaker's just kind of chilling on the plat now. They're fine to just burn this clock as much as they want here. If it's in this position, then Yellow Jackets are winning, you know?
Yeah, it's been over 2 minutes since Yellow Jackets got to 23, and they've just been killing time since then. You know, they're forcing Zestfest to use so many resources just to get their plat back, and now, again, this is another opportunity. They're going to try to go for these jumps, but the dualies are going to slide away and get a pick.
Yeah, I believe earlier there on that plat, the Rainmaker was only at like 12 seconds before it would have popped on its own. Yellow Jackets are doing a really good job of just kind of keeping just a general sense of pressure up onto Zestfest, and Zestfest is just kind of being suffocated.
Yeah, that's just, they're still just really trying to get into mid here, and they still have to get through that first checkpoint. So many things on the list of things to do right now, and gonna have to deal with Dio sharking here. Able to pick one off, and then halfway to the crab tank, they are gonna want to try to take him out. Oh, or he'll take himself out before the crab tank is ready.
You know, sometimes it's not about winning the fight, it's about sending a message, you know?
Well, we see the Rainmaker did go down. Looks like it needs to be popped again, and only 10 seconds left here. It looks like they're having to deal with a flank too. Oh, gonna get taken out. And now it is Dio just sharking here, able to just really make good use of this spot. We see dodging some Zuka shots, but now here comes Storm in, and it looks like, oh, the Rainmaker's got to be so weak right now. There's so much trouble, and it is going to be Yellow Jackets cleaning it up and taking game one.
Yeah, that really felt like a good statement game from Yellow Jackets starting out this Ludi set here. They did a really good job of just keeping everything under control. They didn't get like too cocky anywhere, I found. Everything seemed very calculated of what they were doing.
Yeah, really, really good job there of just, you know, staying disciplined. They realized they had a strong lead, and, you know, didn't do Zestfest any favors to lose that lead. You know, sometimes teams can get a little overzealous on Rainmaker, you know, try to push, you know, from 23. Oh, let's see if we can get to, you know, in the teens, and, you know, maybe you can, but then if you wipe there, then that opens an opportunity for Zestfest to push. So really good job just staying disciplined, but also staying aggressive. That's another thing. You don't want to play too safe and just totally give mid to the other team and then make it so they have to win fewer fights to get through the objective. So, really just nice aggressive gameplay so far by Yellow Jackets to get that win.
Yeah, I think one of the things they did really, really well there was just keeping the Rainmaker onto Zestfest's plat and just keeping it there for as long as they could. It seemed like they were going to push up if they really had like a huge opportunity to, but you're not really going to get it past 23 without some huge opening, and they never found that opening, and that was fine for them. They were perfectly content to just keep up that offense to that like perfectly fine level for them, and that's what kind of ended up winning them that game.
I gotta question Yellow Jackets logo though, because I mean, would you name your team after something and then basically your logo be the poison of that team?
They're putting their weakness out for everyone to see.
It seems like Zestfest is the team that wants raid right now.
Anyway, we're moving on to game 2 here. Splatzone's Robo Ramen. And I have to think that Yellow Jackets in that last game were really good at just kind of sitting on plat. And to me, that could translate into Zone's game to just being able to sit in front of Zones and KO really quickly. So I'm interested to see what kind of adaptations Zestfest is going to have here to try and prevent them from sitting in that position. Because you don't have much time in a Zones game to let them sit there.
Yeah, I'm wondering, because this map, it's a really strange Zones map in the sense that there's not really a ton of places for you to stand, to be able to stand there and paint the zone without standing in the zone. You really just kind of have that area, where like the first checkpoint is in Rainmaker, where most teams just kind of stand. That's where your backliner is usually going to be. So if you can have a weapon that can pressure that, whether it's just, somebody to farb crab tanks, or, you have an AoE weapon like a blaster, a bucket, an explosher that can really just keep people out of that area. Even if you don't really get kills, that's just an area that you want to be able to keep the other team out of so they can't really paint all that well, enable you to just get ticks off the zone.
Yeah, and I just remembered on Robo Ramen, there's also those areas around the side underneath that I would imagine those double dualies we saw last time, if they come back out, they're going to probably want to go down there and do some quirky stuff. We do see them come back out, and a pencil on the side of Yellow Jackets. Every single time I'm looking for the yellow team, I'm like, wait, there's no yellow team here.
Yeah, both teams ditching the heavy edit that they came with, and now we see immediately Zestfest able to come out swinging, getting 2 picks before the cooler even comes out for Yellow Jackets. They will able to pop that and pick it up, and now we see this roller. Oh my gosh, they came in from nowhere just behind, and we see all the members of Zestfest running up to try to help in this fight. So even though their members go down, they are able to keep the pressure on and keep the zone for now. It's going to just stay neutral. It looks like Yellow Jackets caught off guard a little nearly going.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty good opening fight there for Zestfest, but Yellow Jackets already responding, already have the zone capped, and they got Zestfest 3 down there. They're going to be able to push ahead of zone here and just kind of hold it for a pretty long while Zestfest has to recoup their resources as much as they can.
I'm worried here because the pencil can be so oppressive, but as I say that, one of the tools to deal with that pencil will be the Zuka. So they are able to get the pick there, which is going to open things up, but Lucio's got to try to finish out this fight. They're pretty much alone there, and it looks like they are going to get taken out. So, running out of time here, down to the 30s, members have to stop going down because they really are only going to have one chance to retake this. The crab is going to come out, see a crab fight here, and it gets shredded instantly.
Yeah, honestly, it's almost now or never time already for Zestfest. Yellow Jackets keeping this zone under control. We're ticking under 15 already. Zuka gets a pick, but then a Zuka trade as well. But the zone is going to stay in Yellow Jackets' favor all the way to the KO. And Yellow Jackets are up 2-0, like, pretty quickly in this set.
Yeah, a really great effort there by Zestfest. Just so close, especially with that double with the Zuka there at the end, but the pencil, especially on zones, can be so oppressive that, if it's down to a 1v1 or even a 1v2, if the pencil is still there, it's really, really hard to outpaint them and get the zone in those frantic situations.
Yeah, honestly, just really, really well played by Yellow Jackets there. They seem to have a game plan that they're executing exactly how they want right now, and they're just saying, okay, Zestfest, how do you respond to this? And those 2 games, Zestfest has not really had an answer. Maybe we'll see it in Game 3, Inkblot Clams.
Yeah, so interesting here, you know, you didn't really have much of that in these first 2 maps, but here, especially Inkblot, you have those ledges that, you know, the Stamper and the Roller just love to be able to hang out underneath and pick. So, you know, I'm optimistic if I'm Zestfest that, you know, maybe the weapons you've been rolling out can do something here, but, you know, the dualies, just that mobility from Yellow Jackets, swarming around, if you will, just always darting and just getting, you know, on the flanks in your face, changing where you're looking. So that's what really can make things difficult, is just having a player that can just constantly instigate fights and stay alive and just really waste your time while you want to be pushing objective, but you have to deal with this person who's rolling around getting behind you all the time.
The other thing, unrelated kind of to Inkblot, is every single map mode we play competitively on Inkblot, like, doesn't have the stack in the middle, but the preview always does, and that always trips me up, and I don't know why. Every time I see Inkblot, I'm like, wait, the stack in the no, it's Clams. We have the stacks on either side. It's the good map. Unrelated, just a brief rant.
Yeah, it's gotta be hard for, you know, an academy. You think limited funding, they have to remodel every time the kids want to go out and play different versions of Splatoon and Turf Wars out there, but I guess they find a way to make it work, you know. Roaming exhibits. That's what happens a lot in art.
Ooh, we see the CRB coming out. I know there's been a lot of big fans of that recently with it. Having the kit that everybody wanted, Splat Bomb Kraken. We'll see if it can cook this time, as Zestfest has kind of needed an answer, and is this the answer we see?
Yeah, and again, just more diversity from their weapons. You know, first time we're seeing a blaster from them, and first time we're seeing a bucket out of them. And immediately before the cooler comes out, if it does get taken out, they are at least going to grab the cooler, but they're going to go 3 down early on as the members of Yellow Jackets just kind of ran in.
Yeah, it really seemed like a lot of carnage there in mid, but Zestfest was the one that, like, just lost those fights and just not able to get what they wanted there. It didn't look like Yellow Jackets were able to really capitalize a lot of it, because they also had a lot of members go down. But still, not really what Zestfest wanted to see starting out here. They are looking like they're going to get control of mid here with the dualies. Ooh, a huge pick there from that bucket. That could have been very disastrous for them, losing that ball carrier like that.
Oh yeah, now dodging Zuka's shots as well. So it is going to be mid-control, really getting towards the side of Yellow Jackets. Tetra out again. This time Ali is going to win that fight. Going to try to come up this ramp now. You see just constantly harassing, but members do go down, but really, oh no, the members of Yellow Jackets who were carrying all the clams go down. So there's an opportunity. They're going to grab the cooler. Is Zestfest to maybe get a push off if they can win this next fight. We see the Kraken is going to come out now, trying to clear some way. See, nice movement there with the ball, but not going to pay off.
Yeah, I feel like that's the kind of movement that if someone did that to me, I would go, huh, and I would just lose immediately to that. But these teams at this level of the game are exactly ready for that, able to shut down that push, and we're still at a nothing game, even though it looked like both teams had a big opportunity at different points.
Yeah, and part of that kind of the fast, aggressive gameplay means that the members of Yellow Jackets haven't really been able to collect many clams. They have been getting kills, but when they do get control, they haven't really had an opportunity to push. They finally are going to get that control once again, but only 7 clams to their name, so it doesn't mean they're going to get any points on the board. Meanwhile, Zestfest has been just holding on to this ball for a couple of minutes now, which means as soon as they get an opportunity, they're going to be ready to put points on the board, which looks like they did get 2 down there temporarily, so this might be their chance.
Yeah, it looks like that ball is going to go in for the first score of the game. We were almost halfway through of that just kind of little pendulum swinging in mid for a little while that no team was really able to get a big push going, but Zestfest able to be the first one to score here. Doesn't look like they're going to get a huge amount of clams in, but hey, they'll take it at any point because we're already halfway through this game.
Yeah, it was a good try. I like the Kraken to try to stay alive there, but you know, Yellow Jackets just played that very patiently, didn't want to fall into the Kraken, so just kind of let it swim around under the basket, and there weren't many clams to punish them for playing so safely. We see the Reef Slider come out. It looks like, oh man, 3 down on Zestfest. This is a big opportunity for Yellow Jackets to potentially get the lead here, and they will take it.
Yeah, that was really well executed. I saw that Reef Slider, while it didn't really directly get anything, it kind of just opened up the space for all of the rest of Yellow Jackets to come in, get that ball in, get the lead back. And now it's looking like another Yellow Jackets game if Zestfest doesn't have a response.
Yeah, there is not a lot of space to move around on this plat, so, you know, Booyah Bombs, Reef Sliders, Ink Strikes definitely can just make it really hard even if they're not able to get the kill. We talk about displacement, and there's really not a lot of places to go on this map when you're getting displaced on that plat.
And here comes the Kraken. There's no more Krakachis, so you're actually going to see them going for kills. You're trying to pick off this heavy edit, but they're just getting pushed back. They get the kill, though, and they're still alive trying to clear out this basket area, having to back up a little bit. But really impressive Kraken play there.
That was an insane just battle of the wills there. Neither player. Oh, we see a little flank there. Looks like they took the rail and were able to get up top, and that's going to be a nice push to get the lead back. Only the Tetra's alive. They are able to take out one. We do see, though, they have a few more claims. Looks like they're going to try to fall back, jumping out now. So that push will end, but not before they do get the lead, as we see it's Silver exploding in midair.
That Tetra staying alive there at the end was huge, because if they wiped there, then that would have probably been even more claims. Probably had enough time there to run back and maybe get a couple. Instead, that Tetra being able to stay alive, able to push them back out by themselves. And now we see Yellow Jackets having to play on the back foot once again here. They do have the ball at the ready, but there's only 20 seconds left.
Yeah, that was a really frustrating engagement there for the shot. Managed to weaken 2 players, but wasn't quite able to finish off either of them. So now, just, you know, they finally do have claims to their name, which they haven't had, but, you know, they don't have control. Oh, but we see the flankers have been flanked. And now the jump in, the clams, and Yellow Jackets gonna take the win.
Yellow Jackets said, oh, you're going to jump into our bets? We can do that too. And they're going to take game 3. They're now up 3-0 in this set. They've taken all these first Rainmaker, Splat Zones, Clamblets. They only have 2 more if they want to complete the full sweep here.
Man, what an unfortunate reversal there. You know, like I said, this was really, that last push was really kind of the only time in the game that Yellow Jackets didn't have a decent amount of control in mid. It was looking like Zestfest was really going to lock them out there, but yeah, you got to keep the communication going. You have to account for every player, because that player that you don't have accounted for, they're not just idling around in spawn or just kind of hanging out. They're the ones that are going to stab you in the back the hardest.
I do have to note, though, that that was definitely Zestfest's best game yet. And I wonder if they think that's just because of those weapon changes they did going into that battle. I'm not sure, because, I mean, tower control, you think Blaster immediately on here. So you'd expect that CRB to probably stay here. But is it going to be enough to turn the tides of this?
Yeah, I think I definitely stay with that. And I think just generally they're kind of improving as the time goes on here. You know, the Zones game, yeah, it ended at a KO, but, you know, Zones, really, you know, if you just kind of fail to retake once or twice, that's how it's going to happen. But compared to the Rainmaker game, where they really couldn't even break the first checkpoint, they did have some decent fights in the Zones game, just wasn't quite able to put it all together. And now we see in the Clams game, again, you know, forcing it basically to overtime and just letting that win slip away. So it's to say momentum's on your side when you're down 0-3, but that's starting to trend in the right direction, which, you know, is kind of a benefit. These longer sets, you know, you have a little time to find yourself, but, you know, for Yellow Jackets here, you have 6 more games left. You only have to win 2 of them. You know, it's not going to be too tall of an order for them if they can just keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, we're now getting to that territory where it really starts to matter that this is a Ludi set and not just a regular tournament set. Because if this was just a regular tournament set, most tournament sets are either best of 3 or best of 5. You get the occasional best of 7, rarely, but if this was just a best of 5, it would be over. You'd go to your next opponent. But now that we have this Ludi set here, this is a first to 5. So Zestfest still has time to turn this around, and it looked like they almost were in that game if they just were able to vent that flank at the end.
Yeah, always have to just keep your head on a swivel. Luckily, you know, this map mode, not really something that is that much of a concern, though. You do have to be a little careful, especially I'm thinking of Ali on those Tetras. You know, if you're paying too much attention to the tower when it's at like first checkpoint or something, you gotta at least keep an eye on the left side. You don't want the Tetras to just come up through that way into your spawn for free and then reef slider in there while your eyes are on the tower. So, you know, like you said, I wouldn't be surprised to see the CRB just stick around on this map mode, especially, you know, not only the map mode great for it, but just, you know, seeing kind of how they were able to improve on that third game. It's going to be a tall order to have to deal with Yellow Jackets here.
I do wonder if that Slosher's gonna stick too, because I wasn't able to like personally see a like huge amount of fights being taken with that Slosher, but overall the team as a whole seemed to really work with it. So if you were to ask me, I would say it should stay, but I'm obviously not the one who's playing the game right now. Oh, oh, sorry. It looks like we actually have some news coming in from production. We have a game result.
I'm so sorry about that.
We wouldn't be looting tonight without some scuff, right?
Oh my goodness.
So what happened?
Just
What are you talking about?
You know, just sometimes things happen and you try to make sure everything's fixed and then you end up actually just missing a whole game. So
I think I saw that Yellow Jackets were able to take it there.
I
Was that
believe
correct?
so. Yes, Yellow Jackets won that one.
All right. Well, we have no idea what happened on tower control. Maybe it was for the best, considering that we missed the entire game and we were.
Yellow Jackets winning with the quad aerospray comp against Zestfest, going with the quadruple dynamo comp. I can't believe. Oh my gosh! If you're just tuning in the last 10 seconds and you missed that game, you missed a real exciting one, guys. Wow, you're. Whew.
Yeah,
if you're
honestly,
in chat, you know, tell your friends you were there. You saw greatness tonight. And
you might have to catch the VOD later on that one. It was ridiculous.
That's why you guys gotta. That's why you guys gotta tune in live. You never know what you're gonna miss. What you're
exactly
really
All right.
actually gonna miss.
All right. Let's move on to Game 5. Rainmaker on Manta Maria. So we're back to Rainmaker. Yellow Jackets has been able to come out on top of all 4 modes, and that Game 1 Rainmaker was really, really in control for them. They didn't KO like they did on Zones, but they were kind of just able to control the game to their pace the entire time. And if Zestfest wants to start a reverse sweep here, they gotta start with this Rainmaker game.
Yeah, I will say, you know, Yellow Jackets, they got a good lead early on the first Rainmaker game, and then really just kind of played a little stally, you know, kind of conservative. I think this is a bit of a harder map to stall on. You know, just the way it plays, it's a little harder to be able to protect yourself with the Rainmaker as a main weapon. So, you know, that can kind of work in Zestfest's favor. This game probably doesn't necessarily have to play out the same way Game 1 did, but, you know, they're fighting for their lives now, where Yellow Jackets going for the clean sweep to start their Ludi season.
Yeah, I do have to note with the Rainmaker on this one, if it drops into that area right before the goal, sometimes it's really hard to just stop it from going all the way, or sometimes you can stop it at 1, but I don't know, this map I feel like has a lot of breakaways on it that we might see. Starting out this match, though, it looks like Zestfest was able to take the first pop there. Oh wait, no, sorry. The what's it called? Yellow Jackets was at the ink colors.
Yeah,
My bad
Yellow
on that.
Jackets got the pop, but it's going to be Zestfest moving and getting the first checkpoint quick. So, you know, something they weren't able to accomplish all Game 1, they were able to accomplish in the first 30 seconds of this game. It's going to be nice for them as they're trying to fight off the sweep, but a lot of members did go down, so it is going to be Yellow Jackets in control here. They're able to get 2 nice picks. It looks like that was Dio with the Zuka, and then we see able to get the dunk here, so now it is going to be the checkpoint, and they have a lot of control right now, able to get the lead potentially as soon as they pick up the Rainmaker. We see Storm now able to get the Zuka shots out, and not quite able to win that fight, but as we see, the lead is going to come through. The Rainmaker is going to have to just try to dodge the stamp. They are able to. Now it's just 1 member alive. They are able to save. It is over, saving the game for now.
Yeah, that was a really strong counter push there from Yellow Jackets. They said, Zestfest, you got a check? Well, we'll get a check and then a lot more. And they're still in this street area. They have not been able to push them back out yet. It looks like there's a lot of this orange juice colored ink that's spreading around and looking like it's gonna go all the way up to the goal. Is this gonna be a quick game here? They just have to pick it up and dunk it.
Yeah, and they are just able to, and it is going to be Yellow Jackets getting the sweep and starting their week 1 of Ludi with a W.
Yeah, honestly, that seemed to me like a very much a, hey Zestfest, welcome to mid-level. Enjoy your time here.
Yeah, you know, the game can change, the meta can change, but, you know, especially, you know, really a lot of these players, I remember seeing a lot of these players on Yellow Jackets, you know, Ali, Dio, Storm, 2019, earlier than that, so, you know, the game can change, meta can change, but these guys, they've been around for a while, they know how to play, they know how to move, they know how to aim, things like that can take some time. They just kind of have it. The other stuff, the more subtle nuances with the game, they can kind of practice and pick up when they need to, and really solid job by them by showing they definitely still have some skills.
Yeah, and I don't think Zestfest should be ashamed at all. It was a 5-0, yes. However, I do feel like Zestfest really had a lot that they were cooking there, and they were just maybe that littlest bit off. I could really see them doing well here at this Div 4 level, just not quite this set.
Yeah, absolutely. There were a lot of points in the different games. I mean, especially, I mean, you got to talk about the Clan Blitz game, but so many games where just one or two fights maybe goes in a different direction, and it would be them getting the win. So, you know, definitely not blowouts, but, you know, this is the next level. So, you know, getting used to that next competition is definitely going to be good for them. As, you know, like I said, they've been, you know, winning Little Squid League, placing high and low ink. They're definitely on the right trajectory, but, you know, it's not always straight up. You know, sometimes you got to take your lumps.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna just about do it for us too for now. Where can the lovely people find you, Greg?
I am on Twitter at What Is It Greg. I'm on Twitch at Gregory Live. You'll be lucky to see me streaming any Splatoon these days, but I'm usually around Sunday mornings for crosswords if you guys want to just listen to some chill video game music and hang out. And where can the people find you, Poke?
You can find me on Twitter at yokopoke_. I'm not really active on Twitter, but you can also find me on Twitch at yokopoke. I stream a lot of my team Hibiscus. We're in Div 5. We're going to be streaming a lot of our tournament runs, including our Ludi sets, hopefully, if all things go correct. But yeah, you can find me over there, and I think that's just about going to do it for now, but don't go anywhere. At the hour, we are going to have another hot set, a Division 1 set between Solstice and Slay Kings. You don't want to miss that set. We'll have a little bit of an extended break here, but stay tuned, because that set's going to be really good. I can tell.
Yes, the one and only Mr. Popgun himself on the mic, and of course, Siren, the TO goddess, joining him. It's going to be great.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Ludi tonight on SplatoonTourney. Joining me here with our Division 1 match between Solstice and Slay Kings, I have Popgun and Siren. Hello you guys. I'm gonna quickly throw it over to you while we get into our room, but hey, hi, hello, welcome to the space. How's it going?
Yeah.
Bonjour.
Yes. It's going good, Saf. Thank you for asking. Do we take it now? We're taking it now. Hi.
I guess so, yeah. It's all ours.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Ludi Tonight. Today, or as Solstice is saying, Ludi tomorrow, because it is morning time for them.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I had looked over the teams a little bit, and I wasn't like... It was kind of one of those things where I hadn't seen the players' names before, but it wasn't enough information for me to, like, go and find them on Twitter and start hunting them down and, like... You know what I mean? So, it was one of those things where I was in the dark about it, but I was like, you know what? This is what Ludi's all about, right? It's about finding new experiences and learning more about each other, right?
Yes. No, actually, no.
Oh.
That's not at all what Ludi's about. Ludi is about spreading evil and hatred throughout the world, it's very successful at doing that.
It's like the second function, yeah.
The Slay Kings is Dan the Man, Umbre, Beam, recently of the now debunked. Yes, the same word. Except I think I said it wrong.
Yeah,
Red
you
Sun.
said defunct, yeah.
Yeah, defunct. Red.
No, I said defunct.
Yes, that
Go
is
on.
the correct one, right?
Yes.
Yes, defunct Red Sun, and also Kabi, who may be using Squeezer right now. Going up against Solstice, which is the lime soda team from Australia/New Zealand. They actually finished second place in the World Cup qualifier for that region, OCE.
Okay.
To Greasy Goblins, lost them 3-2. So there you go.
So what makes this team Lime Soda? Is that the name of the team?
I'm going off of... Okay, so Lime Soda was the team that won or represented Australia or OCE like in 2019. When they had like 4 teams representing like all 4 corners of the world, I guess.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is like the same exact roster, like player for player, but at least that's what their Twitter claims. So that can't be wrong.
Yeah, I guess so. That's good information. When you assumed it was a certain time, I'm I guess time zone kind of illiterate outside of North America, so I was like, oh, that's somewhere in Europe, right? That definitely tracks a little bit better. But when you have these hours like this, it's kind of like, well, these people stay up late, and these people are, they woke up nice and early to get this ready. So
I believe Australia is somewhere in Europe, or at least that was the case a couple of decades ago. I don't know. I don't know the history of that. But here we are. It's got to be like lunchtime, wherever that is that they're playing on Friday. So it's Ludi in the morning for Solstice, Ludi tonight for the rest of the players of Slay Kings with the Burger King logo to go right here. Did you see the match leading up to this one, by the way?
I actually didn't know. I was busy doing a full face of makeup just to watch Ludi.
I was shaving my face for this too.
Do you
How
shave
about
your
that?
head as well, or does that just do the job naturally for you?
So I just buzz it, or by me, I mean my wife. My wife has been cutting my hair for 14 years now. So no, I don't shave it, but I do definitely buzz it. I'm not
Okay.
like fully committed to the full bald look just yet.
See, well, I wish my dad would commit to the bald thing. He's had this like balding eagle thing for like a while. Maybe you could teach him a lesson.
There's a how far down the rabbit hole are we gonna go here? We got time to kill, right? There's not L in the lobby. So there's like a Reddit or a subreddit for like bald, and it's basically just a bunch of people posting their pics of like, I finally decided to shave my head. So maybe you should like introduce your dad to that and like have other people to cope with, I guess. I don't know. I'm not at that point in my life yet.
Well, how do you know about the bald subreddit then?
Because it's like the default thing. I don't join it. I don't like
The
randomly
default
just
thing?
throws random Reddits, like
Well,
subreddits.
how does
at you.
Reddit know you're bald?
It doesn't know that I'm bald. It just knows that I always click on those pictures whenever it gets sent my way, just so I can have like a reference. So maybe that's why.
Okay.
We're getting off track. The point I was getting to, how we got to this tangent. The game before this one had Yellow Jackets, and their logo was a can of Raid, like the bug spray.
Right.
So now we had Raid represented, and now we got Burger King representative right after. All of these things being sponsored, or at least being displayed onto SplatoonTourney, and Falco's not getting a single cent of it.
I guess so, yeah. Well, I mean, depending on their performance tonight, this could either be a sponsorship or it could be the opposite of that, or I guess advertisement. It could have negative, positive, adverse effects regardless of how they perform, right?
If Slay Kings get swept, will you never go to a Burger King again in your life?
Well, I already wasn't planning on it, so regardless of what they do, I don't think I would.
By the way, we do have all the players in the lobby, including Lana Del Rey.
Wow.
Which I'm not cultured enough to know who that is, but I believe that is a singer of sorts.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Oh,
She's
she's
like-
older than me.
What? She is.
I was thinking this was like a recent person, but no.
There's not many people out there who can fit that description there, Poppin. So, I'm sorry, I'm going too far. I really wish the server had soundboards, because, well, at least gave me permission to it, because I would definitely be spamming that brush one.
Hey, Popgun, Siren, you guys want to go in early and distract the audience for a bit while we wait for them to join the lobby?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we can fill time. What do we want to talk about? Popgun's old. He's bald. And Siren apparently hates Burger King. All right, cool. Yeah, we can do that. I didn't know the camera cut to me. I wasn't looking at the camera the whole time. All right. This game is going to be starting right now. They're finally in the lobby. Game 1 of Division 1, Solstice versus Slay Kings. And we're going to Rainmaker at the museum to start it off.
Yeah, Rainmaker Museum is just one of those maps. I find it kind of weird that it's still played in tournaments, to be honest, because of the fact that, like, yeah, I find the Rainmaker checkpoint, there only being one of them, is kind of strange. Like, it's the only one checkpoint map that we actually use.
I haven't thought about that. I'm going to have to go back and think about it. By the way, a very vanilla-ish comp coming out here from the side of Solstice. Is this Shockwave that is on the edit? I remember Shockwave used to be a very prominent Nautilus user. Edit being the other thing that's going on right there. By the way, that one checkpoint almost got cleared right there by the Slay Kings right off the bat.
Yeah, and I think they will be able to clear it just now, especially with Dan popping that screen up into their base. That hammer is going to be coming out, but I think with hammer nowadays, it's more of a stall tactic than anything else. So I don't know what's coming of this. We're kind of locked into this space here where we are kind of forced to reset.
Well, yeah, that whole heck of a lot not really being accomplished right there. However, if anything, the Slay Kings still have control of this little area of the map. Starting to push up is this squeezer right here as Dan has control of the Rainmaker. But now, nothing really given right here. I believe that was some ink strikes being thrown their way, and there's going to be a hammer being chucked halfway across the map at some point right here. Getting set up top right there is not going to come out in time. That is the checkpoint, the only checkpoint falling into the favor of the Slay King.
Yeah, Slay King's getting that checkpoint out of the way. That's going to be a pretty big burden pulled off of their back this early on in the game. Now we're seeing who I assume is Shockwave trying to defend from this upper area here, trying to build a tacticooler that Rainmaker hasn't moved too far, getting the fall-off kill onto Cabby as well. But it's just a matter of clearing multiple members of Slay Kings out of their plat. As you saw before, they only had 2 up when they actually got that checkpoint before, so it seems like man advantage is not a very big concern for them.
I'm surprised Slay Kings did not, and maybe they will right here, get a whole heck of a lot more points. But they had a great opportunity. A lot of players down from the side of Solstice. Shockwave kind of stuck in an awkward spot along the left side. and for somehow they're able to escape with only 38 points remaining, able to dunk the Rainmaker off to the right side. And all of a sudden, it's Slay Kings that are getting slayed right now. A little bit of a desync spawn. Shockwave able to dunk the Rainmaker basically for free, and they have a great opportunity with some specials built up. With a lucky Zuka blast, they could take their lead right here.
Yeah, they have a lot of opportunities being presented to them as well. Shockwave actually grabbing that Rainmaker, sneaking it a little bit farther, but it's just going to be Brother Jax left in their plat. They're getting into a fight with one member, does drop down, is not able to make it quite out of that, and that's not going to be enough. It's definitely not going to be enough for them right now, especially with them picking up that Rainmaker and moving it back towards the center of the map. So they're going to have to go for it another time, but they do still have another 2 minutes to accomplish that.
Brother Jax almost had a great situation right there, 4v1 to kind of make a hero play. Took care of 2 players, but wasn't enough as the Rainmaker does reset. Slay Kings now with another opportunity to get things going right here, trying to clear out the path, dodge out these ink strikes as they do take care of the slosher. Great shot right here. Auto cam. All right, fine. Here we go. Okay, so they added 2 points to the lead after all of that, and that is a BS Zuka kill, but that's kind of how the weapon works. So be it. Push ends. A minute 30 left on the clock.
Yeah, BS Zuka kill. I like that that wording. I feel like that's all Zuka kills, so you can probably just remove that part from it more or less. With that though, another BS Zuka looking to be charged up here as he does defend Miguel on the backside. Getting a pick on Kabi and Beam at the same time, getting a third one on Umbri. That's going to be a full wipe. They're going to have to make a run for it. This could very well be lead, but did they have Cooler when they go down there?
It doesn't look like they did, because they just got all the way up there for free. And that is Brother Jax not having to use the BS Zuka to make all of these splats right here. Just using the regular weapon and mowing some players down, clearing the way for Solstice to get this lead that's probably good enough for them to get the win right here. 45 seconds left to go now, as we see the Rainmaker starting to work its way back into mid. Shockwave getting eliminated along that right side, but look who it is yet again. Brother Jax is having a heck of a game right now, shutting down the Rainmaker yet again.
Yeah, another one of those instances where that Rainmaker is going to be stopped. And do you feel like with 25 seconds left on the board, that Solstice is going to play a little bit more defensive here, not really show their faces too much?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Potentially. Build up some specials. You don't know where that hammer's going to be coming from. But you got to think, as soon as they round this corner right here, they don't really have a whole lot to go. It's just kind of a straight shot. Unless you're Dan, you're kind of backing up the wrong way, but you know you don't want to get splattered right here. But 2 players go down. There is a window opening up, but the longer they wait, the more time it is for other players to get back in. They might have had a chance right there, just a little bit too hesitant. Solstice holds on, and they take game 1.
Yeah, Solstice able to get that really quick lead there, and I think we definitely got to give a shout out to Brother Jax there, brother Jax. I don't know if we're going with brother. Was there a character limit perhaps? Regardless, for getting that insane triple there that ultimately did lead in that wipeout, which got them the lead. That's all they really needed.
Okay, so now we're going to revisit a point you said. This is the only map that has 1 checkpoint. Let's see. So there's 7 maps here in Ludi. Mm-hmm. And we never really do 7. Ludi does 7 because it's a long season. So it means you got to throw some maps in there that suck. But let's look. Humpback has 2. Robo Ramen has 2.
Yes.
Manta
there's one on the ground. Yeah.
Oh, there's
Manta
one in like
has...
the lower area.
Yeah. Manta has 2 as well.
Manta has 2. Undertow has 2. Hagglefish has 2. Scorched Gorge has 2. Okay, so you're right.
It's very well. This is one thing that you find out when you make enough like tournament map pools for lands and stuff like that, which for some reason receive the most scrutiny out of any map pool. Like you can have a terrible one for anything as long as it's not Low Tide City. But you talk to a bunch of people. Like I think I spoke to Chara because he's so analytical about like the way that maps should be chosen and stuff like that. And he was very like, yeah, for Rainmaker, you should really only be picking those map modes that have 2 checkpoints for XYZ reason. And I thought about it some more, and he's like, the only exception to that is Museum because like they're far away enough from the middle that it kind of works. something like that. We kind of went back and forth about it for a bit, but it really made sense, and that pattern has been pretty consistent. Like, I just don't think we play any of those one checkpoint maps anymore, and there's not that many.
So there you go. The deep dive analytics into Rainmaker Museum. Unfortunately, we're not going to see that map again. But we are going to Robo Ramen Splat Zones edition this time around. And we do see an X-Splosh coming out from the side of the Slay Kings. No real comp changes. Actually, they didn't change anything at all from the side of Solstice. But that is that's the Inkwall Splashdown X-Splosh. That thing paints a ton. And it seems like everyone who uses it in the solo queue is, for some reason, way better than they have any credit to be. But as long as they can stay alive, they're going to put a lot of paint down on that zone.
Yeah, for sure. And I really like this early positioning that Shockwave has been taking here above the zone. Spraying some paint down, does have to back off a little bit when their teammates go down. And that's honestly the smart decision here. There's so much delaying that you can do, but if you lose your life, it's going to be a lot worse.
And there's nothing worse than, losing your life typically is a bad thing. In this game in general right here, another Zuka kill takes care of the Slay Kings. Remember, it's just Shockwave left alive, but somehow is still able to hold on to the zone, flipping it back into their favor. That screen is going to back them up. Lana Del Rey, no! Your music was so popular with somebody.
Somebody, a whole one body. I guess this is the somebody. But we are now dealing with a Slay Kings moment where they are finally slaying in this set. Doesn't seem like they're progressing very far past this choke point, and that can be a little bit concerning when those strikes come out. But with that being said, they're still able to get 3 picks out of that, so they're finally going to get out of the choke point. I mean, there's a good reason why we call it that, because I guess it takes 3 picks to move past it. But seemingly backing out of it to stand on top of the zone, which I can't agree is wise, but I'll go with it for now.
They're just body them right now. GG. Go next.
Wait.
Right?
Wait.
Wait.
No.
Wait.
No.
Yes, because the X-Splosh is still alive.
Sus.
And they're going to land a splash down on zone.
What?
And now they're going to use the Zuka shot. And now everybody's jumping right back in.
Oh my.
And they're getting the splats. Thank
okay.
you. Finally. Okay.
What?
Calculated. Just like they drew it up. See, I knew it was over. It just took a little bit of time.
Yeah. All right. Well, Slay Kings evening out the set, taking a game. So that's exciting, right?
Yeah. I mean, the last set was a 5-0 sweep. This one's 1-1, so we're at least guaranteed a game 6. So you'll see a new map on this stream at some point right here. But regardless, Slay Kings, the Lockout Kings, we're able to bait out a lot of those specials too from the side of Solstice, able to allow them to waste a lot of their specials so that when they finally got back into that position to where they were kind of seesawing, trying to wrestle control of the zone back into their favor, they didn't really have anything to work with versus the mighty splashdown from the X-Splosh, which is able to stall out things long enough for everybody to jump in and another Zuka to be built up. So Slay Kings able to calculate their lockout right there and dominated game 2 as we move on to Art Academy.
Yippee! Inkblot Art Academy Clam Blitz. Well, I guess crack and cheese is not something to be discussed anymore. It's kind of a weird thing. With this map, I felt like for a long time it was very hard to dunk without some sort of assistance in it, despite the map being very small. It's usually those really big maps that are easier to defend on, but with Inkblot it's such a tight premise that you basically, at least from my point of view, need to get like a full wipe to do anything.
Is there any map you do like?
Yeah, I like this one on like almost every other mode on Rainmaker, but me saying that Museum was bad wasn't really like a critique of it. Well, it's just bad. Anyway, I like Ramen. I didn't say anything about that one. I'm actually gonna just look at season 15 as a whole for a second.
Fair enough.
And then
while you're doing that, I get why we're seeing the heavy edit, the vanilla version, because somebody's got to be the soda boy. But at some point, you got to be thinking, okay, when are you going to bust out the exciting one, the one with the splat bomb, the one with the crab tank, the one that kind of operates as like the pseudo Nautilus for this game, since the kits for the other ones just aren't that exciting anymore. But since they don't really have anybody else, it seems like no in-zap or like pencil along the way, they're just kind of stuck using the soda one. So this comp that you're seeing out of Solstice, the same exact one they've been using 3 games in a row now, and that might just be it. Now, we do see the Kraken coming out from the brand new blaster, the new range blaster that also has splat bomb as well. Like you said, you can't do crack and cheese anymore, but it's still a really good special in general and can stall those pushes, or at least like extend the pushes by blocking.
Yeah, I would say so. And before the patch even happened, I was definitely like, my playstyle was leaning more towards let me cause chaos in their faces so they can't even think about getting near the basket.
Yeah.
And that strategy more or less definitely still works. So there's definitely a lot of things you could do with that weapon. And it's one of the fundamentals that this whole series of games has been brought upon was that particular weapon, right? So, like, it's kind of hard to go wrong with it, right?
What, the Kraken in general?
Well, yeah,
Or...
Kraken, Splat Bomb, Range Blaster combo thing, yeah, that whole thing.
Oh yeah, that's a deadly combination of things. I mean, even without it being broken in Clan Blitz, which there were so many people that used Kraken just for Clan Blitz without really like practicing or anything, and when that cheese went away, they just dropped Kraken altogether. But the players like Moonlight and everybody else that actually just used it normally kind of displayed just how broken that special can be in certain situations. But right now, Slay Kings doesn't really need any specials to just bust their way back into the base for their second opportunity to score. Are they going to get a lot of value out of this push right now? No. Like, with one push, you kind of want to find to get down to 60. But with 2 pushes right here, they might be able to do just that, as Kabi's able to throw down the screen, throw in a few more clams from the stair area before getting eliminated right here. So that's twice they've been able to pop the basket. But 53 remaining. This is still a pretty much an even game at this point with this much time left on the clock.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree with you there. I think the strategy that Slay Kings is kind of going with is that they want to get a lot of smaller pushes and just have a lot of explosive energy and not worry too much about whether or not they're going down under the clam basket, because they have cooler. They're going to be right back. So it's not really a worry about defensive pressure, especially on this map when they can defend in just a moment's notice. So with that being said, we're seeing another one of those, only a 2-point margin added onto their lead here until Dan comes in, goes down as well. It's still just going to be Kabi as the last man standing once again, backs up in a mid, decides to stay alive for this point in time, but Beam is going to get stuck in a bit of a sticky situation as they jump in here.
Death by paper cuts, 3 pushes right now. And this is the first time Solstice has really had any kind of control of mid, but that's just like one of the 6 boxes you got to check in Clan Blitz. Now you got to build up clams. Now you got, oh, well, I promised myself I would get excited for Zuka kills because they're not that impressive, but you know, when 2 players are right on top of each other and you blast them to hell like that, it still kind of gets you.
You know, I can be entertained by people exploding every once in a while as well. So, like, it works for me in that regard. With Solstice here, they're finally getting their first push in. I would imagine they would have taken, like, the different approach where it's, you know, death by Zuka rather than death by paper cuts, as we've been seeing so far with Slay Kings. But not quite managing to start competing with that lead that they have right now. Though... winning these fights, or, well, rather just trading out of them when they have cooler up, is not really going to be the method to do that.
1 minute left to go right now. Slay Kings holding on to a lead. Now stuck in this different kind of position they've been in for the vast majority of this game. Hunkered down into their own base. They've been flying all over the map, putting a lot of pressure on the Solstice, but now they're just forced to use their specials defensively right here, throwing the soda on their own side of the map. Here comes a Wiper trying to nail this player right in the head with a hammer, and it ultimately ends up being a trade as more and more players just try to funnel their way in through the steps area, but nothing is giving right there. And they were really hoping that hammer would cause a lot of chaos, and when it didn't, it kind of shut down their plans. And now you see Slay King starting to take control of mid yet again.
Yeah, Slay King's kind of tossing around this ball, playing not it, as it finally ends up in the hands of the NZAP here. They seem like they're trying to build up a cooler before they go towards this, or maybe they're even still deciding if they want to dunk it at all. They do have one pity clam under the basket of Solstice right now, which is going to grant them overtime no matter what, on top of a different one that they're holding on to here. But dunking this is either going to end overtime for them immediately, or it's going to be a very risky play that results in Solstice having another clam, which is obviously not an option at this point, but we're already dealing with a couple.
Shockwave. Wait, are they going to get there in time? They do. They break the basket. They need 4 more clams to get the lead. They did get the wipeout. Lana Del Rey gets eliminated. Now there's just the awkward hammer, but they got 1 power clam in the base. Is the wiper anywhere near it? Kind of, yes, but no. Solstice able to slip through there. I was thinking it was a little bit of a misplay for Shockwave to move up with the power clam with that much time left in overtime, maybe wait for something to happen, but instead it got the clam forward, closer to the basket, ultimately was able to find its way to pop right there, just didn't have enough follow-up clams for that window that they had. Disaster avoided for Slay Kings right there. They almost fumbled that away.
Yeah, Slay Kings just barely clenching that out, getting these picks that they needed at the very end, and you could see them just camping that ball that was remaining in their base. They definitely predicted the fact that the wiper was going to jump in and try and dunk it as soon as they could, which they got very close to doing to their defense as well, and that's kind of your only option at that point as well. But I thought for sure that it was going to be a game for Solstice.
And Slay Kings didn't really know what they wanted to do. They didn't have like a plan to close it out. Like, we're just going to hold on to this clam in mid. Like, are we going to try to throw it in there just to end it? Or we just... And ultimately, they just decided to just kind of float around mid and wait for the enemy to make a move. But still, Slay Kings now up 2-1, not Solstice. Yes, there is correct. Put that Burger King logo up there on the Art Academy. And now we're going to go to the grocery store, so... We can't let Burger King win there. Although I do remember when McDonald's was in Walmart. So I guess that's like kind of relevant here.
That's still very normal in Canada. I don't know about in the States. Did they get rid of all the McDonald's inside Walmart in the
To be
States?
fair, I haven't been to a Walmart in a hot minute.
Americans in chat, which is probably the most of you. What is the status on the McDonald's inside Walmart?
We got like a Subway. Our Meijer has like a pretzel shop, like an Annie.
Oh, I'd like that. I would lose every time I go to Meijer if there was a pretzel shop. But we don't have Meijer either, so.
Rip you. Did we not change anything? We didn't.
I don't think so. I think they gotta just rely on what they have.
Fair enough. Ombre, really good with the blaster. Kraken, you can't really go wrong with it. But yeah, Solstice said this is just what we're gonna do, so it's just gonna have to work for us. And so be it. I mean, Slosher obviously works out well on this map, and when your heavy edit is starting to mow down some players, it opens up the room for everybody else to get things going right there. Bit of a delayed wipeout as Solstice takes control of things in the beginning.
Yeah, Solstice hopping on that tower. That suction bomb was making me real nervous here, but Shockwave showing great control on that tower. As we see here, it feels like their play in this game so far has just been relying on the members of Slay Kings to run into them, and then once they do, they get those picks and move forward with the game, which, hey, it's working out very well in their favor so far. They've already cleared that first checkpoint, which can be a real pain, and we can see we're getting very ahead of ourselves here, getting into their base, which is going to make this even better for them, I have to say.
Yeah, this is a butt whooping that is very quickly turning into a butt whooping deluxe at the rate we're going right here. Brother Jack's starting to get a little bit too comfortable, losing sight of their color vision for a little bit right there, but still, Slay King's able to hold on to this just now and actually takes care of Shockwave on top of it, but still, 1 minute and 30 seconds gone, and you clear that second checkpoint. That's the most frustrating of them all, or that's more so like, if you can clear that, you're going to be in a good position to win versus that first one where it's just kind of annoying to do anyway. So yeah, in the first 30 seconds, 2 checkpoints down. Good position for the team that's down 2-1 in this set.
Yeah, for sure. If you are Solstice, this is the comeback that you want to be looking at right now. Although we did just get 2 down on the side of Solstice once again. We're holding on to that Zuka, getting in a good position to pop it, I'm assuming, getting those angles onto the top left there. They're going to have to be very careful about where they're positioning. Shockwave is going to go down there. That's a huge defensive wall. It's just going to be 1 member left, but that Suction Bomb putting in crazy work from Brother Jack, standing behind that tower, getting the pick on Dan as well. And now this is the moment where they're just going to be scouting out other members of Slay Kings to take down, and just keep in mind the remaining defenses.
And this is where you got to keep the foot on the gas pedal if you're Solstice right here. Yeah, you got the more. Yeah, I agree with the play style of, well, let's let them come feed into us, and then we can just like kind of mow them down right there. But still, when you got windows like this, you need to hop onto that tower. You need to start pushing it forward. You need to start playing for that KO. You just don't want to like mess around with 2 minutes on the clock with a team that's being as aggressive as the Slay Kings are. It looks like they are at least trying to do that right here, throwing some bombs up here, trying to push them back, knowing they need to go all the way to that 3rd checkpoint to add to their lead. Put some sodas into the system now of Slay Kings, and they're starting to push up in mid.
Yeah, painting this ground is going to allow them to just feel a little bit safer. They have that barrier knowing that no one's going to be able to hide over there, which is a very difficult blind spot on this map. If you ever played it before, that hammer is going to come out. Doesn't even need to hide to do it. They're just going to go right for you from the front angle while you're too busy watching the sides. And that will at least stall out the members of Slay Kings from being able to do anything with any man advantage they would have found there.
They still, well, no. I'm trying to think of how Slay Kings can get back into this one, and it's just going to come down to, can you make something happen with this Kraken right here? But 2 players do go down for Solstice, and that does open up control of mid. But there seems to be constantly 1 or 2 players finding their way behind Slay Kings, so they can never really get established too much in mid because they got to turn their backs to something. But right now, it seems like they got all the enemies right in front of them. The question is, did they burn off too many specials to even get to this point? And that Zuka almost knocked out 2 players, but it didn't, just because that's just how the game works. And instead, we're trusting the 2nd checkpoint. Beam's nowhere near the tower, though, so it's going to be stalled out right here. Slay Kings not able to attack that 2nd checkpoint.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying there. It does feel like Solstice is very effectively playing these kind of mind games where they're very much behind them all the time, and then when they're not behind them, they're right in front of them. When the members of Slay Kings are like, okay, where's the person who's behind? Oh, we aren't right now, but let me deal with that. What? Wait, was that a screen? Doing, you know how you get damage from touching the screen? Did you just land on it and then get full lethal damage?
I don't know if it got double damaged or not. I was just laughing at the fact that that player was trying to dodge like 6 different bombs, literally turned at every single angle and found a different bomb, and then ultimately ran into the screen. Are they? They're not going to win this, are they? No, they're not. Okay. We're just tied at 2 apiece.
Okay, well, I guess we're going to be here for a while tonight.
Yay.
You don't sound that enthusiastic. I mean,
Hey,
I did call you old and bald earlier,
Yes.
so yeah.
Yes,
Well,
that did happen. And we're still good. You know, we're fine. I'm just sitting here thinking, because the last time I did commentary was during a CCA finals, and PJ woke up at very last at the end of the game. So we're just, if I ever dip for like an extended period of time, that's why, and you can just keep talking. But right now, he seems to be doing good.
okay.
Well, let's keep playing. Let's keep playing.
Well, it seems a couple people in chat are pointing out that you can get double damage by screen, and some people are saying that is 100% what got them. So I think I will believe the chat.
What do they know? They're in chat.
Huh.
They're in the Twitch chat. What do they have to contribute to anything?
That's a really good question. I can't even
Yeah.
think of that many good Twitch chat moments from the community. Get real.
Get real. By the way, a solstice means the point where the sun appears to reach either the highest or lowest point of the sky in the year, which for the players for solstice will be the lowest because it's wintertime, or it is approaching wintertime, whereas for us it will be approaching summertime, I guess, in about 8 days or so. So this team is appropriately named for at least a few more days before things have to change. And is Stormy telling me to retire in chat, or that I'm already retired? See, this is why we don't pay attention to chat. It's just...
I think he's saying you did retire.
I did, yeah. And look, I'm still here.
Well, that's
that
not really
funny?
retired then, is it?
Well, I haven't been collecting paychecks, so like, just retire didn't really mean anything. Like I'm
You
not
were
on a.
before? From who?
That's the whole point of retirement, right? To give you money not
From
to work
Splatoon?
anymore. From Splatoon, yeah.
Were you were collecting paychecks from what? I've been collecting paychecks from Splatoon, but that's because I run land.
you have, yes, you have been collecting actual paychecks from Splatoon.
Yeah.
I just get PayPal donations every now and then.
Do you need one right now?
Sure. I'm not going to turn down money. Are you serious? Yeah, I'll take that.
/Gen. Well, I think you can. Never mind. I was gonna make it. Never mind. There's this
Are we?
Twitter thread. You can just reply with your Cash App. Go on. Anyway.
Anyways, same weapons. Both teams have decided, you know what? It's late. Let's just. Why do we even change the weapons? Let's just go with what we're doing right here. Manta Maria Rainmaker. ProChar approved because it's got 2 checkpoints apparently. And even though you're really going to go for this one in them. Oh wait, no, I forgot the other checkpoints over there on I forget the official name of that, but the left side of the map from what we're viewing right here.
I don't know. It's one of the decks.
Yes.
We'll
Who's
call
got
it that.
the Rainmaker?
The
Who's
poop
this?
deck.
Slay Kings? The poop deck. The poop deck is not an official call out. You just made that up.
Yeah, I
There's-
did.
So it looks like Slay Kings have the Rainmaker on the poop deck side of the map right now. Is GG Dan trying to push up? What's going on back there? Is there a hammer behind everybody? It looks like there was. Still kind of technically is. The
I love
Rainmaker
the-
finally decided to just run away.
What? Well, I really appreciate that yeet that just came out there in perfect timing to get rid of Dan. But it seems like Slay Kings are still, yeah, they're still moving along. They're chugging. They got that Rainmaker through that checkpoint at the cost of Dan, unfortunately, and now Umbri. But it's. I mean, it's Manta. I'm not gonna act like it's a big deal to get that checkpoint. You crossed the bridge, you got over it. But can we like look at the fish for a moment, so that people don't sneak it by like that and push it down to 30 just by touching down in that street?
Yeah. So now that becomes a big deal because you do need to drop the Rainmaker down, and I believe you got to go a little bit for. I think this dropping it down doesn't get you to below 30. So,
Well,
but I mean, right?
They didn't drop it down to get it there
No.
this time.
They
Maybe
took
we're
the
seeing
little,
Splatoon 2 numbers.
They took it through the Clamblitz area, or as you would call it, the poop deck, along the right side there. And they do clear this checkpoint right here. They being Solstice right now. You can't pick it up right now. Look, there's yeah, that's a big fat no right there. Well, and they still got a Kraken to go with on the defensive side of things as well. So this is going to be a resetting Rainmaker. Solstice wisely deciding, let's just control mid and be here for when it comes back.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the wise decision at this point. You have to go somewhat all in to get under the 30 mark, but I think they did just get a couple picks. I'm kind of surprised by the fact that they've stayed back, but that might have just been a call out from Shockwave going, hey, I have cooler in like 1 second. Can you just hold on? Like, don't die yet, please.
And that's going to allow them to do this extended push right here. Slay King's trying to get up the hill, and Jan is able to do just that. As I start burping at the wrong time, excuse me.
Ew.
Now, are they going to... Is that the end of this push right here? It looks like the answer is yes. So, the Soda was able to get into these players, and that's why they're all back right now, and that's why they all literally have their specials ready to go, and 2 players down for the Slay Kings. This is a great opportunity for Solstice. Now, junking through the left side, Shockwave is able to get lead without falling all the way through. Is the jump that got him by 1 point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it only really counts if you touch the ground, no? So I think what some people were saying is that the very tip of that ledge gets you to 29, and that's, I mean, hey, they got it there.
No, check the VOD. Stormy said that afterwards. There's no way. So that's...
No. I saw it before they did that.
Well,
I'm just reading because you're yapping, so...
Well, now we're down to 16, so things looking even more dire for the Slay Kings right now. A minute left to go. They have to fall down and all right, Stormy, where do they have to go to get the 15? Give me the pixel perfect location they did go right there. And maybe they'll show us because there's one player down for Solstice. By the way, there's somebody behind you. But thankfully you got a teammate there that's able to eliminate that. You do have your blaster kind of clearing the way along with a Zuka that's ready to go. And here comes the screen out on top of this as well. They have an opportunity to slip through right here. Dan's being very patient, waiting for that chance. Now is just going to run for it. Are they going to get there? No, but 20 remaining. 2 players going down for Solstice. Shockwave's in a great position to defend this, but they're throwing a lot of bombs in that general area. And all 4 players are still alive. The pop goes into the favor of Solstice. They do grab it up, and it looks like they are going to escape along the opposite side of the poop deck on the right side.
You're really gripping onto this poop deck callout. I was really just referring to one specific part. Like, you're considering poop deck to be like half the map now.
I'm just trying to let the audience know where the Rainmaker is in relation to all that's going on. There's a lot going on right now.
I suppose so, yeah. Though we were looking at an even set before, it seems like they were able to grip onto that lead for just long enough to hold on to that game, and that's going to be another win for Solstice, just barely.
That was a fun game. Action-packed, intense, back and forth.
Skin of their teeth, little mountain goat moment.
Yes. A lot of teeth skinning going on in that game for sure.
Ew.
Shockwave in a good position along the crow's nest, we can call it that. Able to, even though they were down a couple of players, was able to put enough pressure from the top right there. And wasted a lot of, drew a lot of bomb fire. Like, those were bombs that could have been thrown at the Rainmaker to help it pop into a blue Slay King's favor. Instead, they kept throwing the bombs up there trying to eliminate the Edit, who just kept dodging them and still firing down at the Rainmaker anyways. So there we go. Nicely played.
Yeah, I mean, looks like we're going into Hagglefish next. I like that map. I didn't know what to say about it. It just made me sound sad. I did actually take the time between the games to look at the Ludi map pool, and to be honest, I think every map I hate has already shown up in this set once, and then everything else I like. So they're just getting it out of the way in week 1.
Well, there you go. Well, wait till week 2, and then we'll see what the.
Well, I was looking at just the general one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tower control and Rainmaker just suck in general. Like, there's only so many times we can say, oh, all these maps are bad. Okay, well, is it really just that? Because everybody doesn't have a problem with the Splat Zone maps. And, like, half the Clan Blitz maps you can put out there with somebody not complaining about it. So maybe it's just them. By the way, Kraken works out really good everywhere, right? On this map in particular, it completely dominates mid, as does Screen as well. Screen covers like the entire zone and then some. So when those 2 specials are in play, it really comes down to, can you control those alleyways on the left and right side of the map? The equivalent of a poop deck on this map, if you will. Which it looks like they're not going to have the Kraken. They're going back to the Splashdown X-Splosh.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with that choice. I think Explo is a really annoying weapon on this, and I think you can position it in a way that it can manage both flanks very easily without really tunnel visioning on a specific area or worrying too hard about, like, oh, is this going to be enough paint output? Because you can just generate anything and cap the zone instantly with that weapon. I think it's niche, but I think it works. By
the way, we haven't seen a pencil this entire set, and this being the last Splat Zone game we could possibly see, this might be a pencil-free set that we're looking at right here. How interesting. But yeah, look at that. The screen just literally covers the entire zone and then some. Actually, the angle of that one was a little bit like towards the tilted to a little bit of the side right there. But Slay Kings pick it up right where they left off the last Splat Zone game, already halfway through their points. The Edit up here in an awkward spot because that X-Splosh is just going to cover literally the entire canopy as more and more players start to fall for the favor of Solstice. Here comes some last-ditch effort. Zuka strikes as well as the Tri-Strikes coming down onto the zone. And it looks like that will be enough to finally cap it into their favor, but a good start for the Slay Kings.
Yeah, I think that's really manageable for them to take over here, but they do have to, like, I suppose micromanage what's going on with the specials on the side of Slay Kings here. They do have that splashdown that they need to worry about, so they kind of want to keep Umbri in check at all times, make sure that Kabi's not getting too close to getting that screen ready. The other things, I think it's kind of like you're used to working with those already in this game. And the strikes coming out right now is going to be able to extend that lead a little bit further as Shockwave jumps back onto that zone. Now we're kind of dealing with the world's most obvious flank. Like, yeah, you're dropping that screen down. I wonder what you're going to do next.
Unless there's somebody that's not a squeezer coming around from the opposite side. But still, it is at least... again, that was kind of an awkward angle coming down from that side as opposed to straight down through mid. But it did kind of funnel the players to that right side of the map, and ultimately Slay Kings able to get control of the zone as we cross the halfway point. So check penalty points put down on both sides of the map right here, as Solstice is going to take control yet again. The X-Blash from Umbre being the last one left alive, now starting to retreat, trying to build up another deadly splashdown.
Yeah, I see this positioning here. It's the I have Zuka and I want to pop it, but I'm just waiting till I see enough heads so that I can ensure that it's worthwhile. So with that cooler coming out, I think it's just a matter... There we go. Yep. All right, let's just pop it right through that screen, see what happens. There is actually able to get Kabi, which is pretty darn good. But that's not going to stop Umbri from splash downing on the zone. Once again, it's just going to go into neutral for the time being before it gets capped and applies a little bit of penalty. But ultimately, from the way that this is looking so far, I'm assuming this is going to become just more of a delay than anything.
So both teams had a great push at the beginning to get them a decent score on both sides. But now things have just kind of been seesawing back and forth. I build up specials, I take the map. You build up specials, you take the map. And these back and forth things are just going to benefit the team that got the lead first, and that is the Slay Kings, as they're able to eliminate a Shark King's Shockwave. But now things are starting to look a little bit different, because that is a Lana Del Rey that just got eliminated by the Squeezer, and more specials starting to build up. So Slay Kings in another position to get a great lockout going right here and try to tie up this set.
Yeah, I think they do have a decent chance at it. We're looking down the barrel of no penalty and perhaps a knockout here. Is able to get Shockwave. I really thought that was going to be a trade for a second there. Does get taken out by Miguel, who is going to back off and take the off angle onto the zone here while their teammates take the front. But it seems like with some people getting taken down there, namely Shockwave from before, it might be a delay or just an outright prevention of them capping the zone. And that very well could be the knockout there for Slay Kings.
Did I miss something? How did they not cap that? What was that about?
I couldn't tell you. I think there was a very strong pressure facing just frontward from the zone. So when the other members of Solstice tried to get back in there, they were just met with everything, and the flank didn't quite work out because it just the timing made it so that they were able to react to the hammer. So I think ultimately, I think that actually came down to Shockwave going, dying right before that. Because that's like one of their best painters.
It does come down to whoever dies the first. Or the last, I guess. Either way, we're tied at 3-3, so we're guaranteed at least a game 8 in this set.
Oh, wow.
Which is to the delight of the idiots in chat. We're going to be seeing even more of this in another tower control game eventually. But Solstice winning 2 in a row, that streak is now snapped as we're in a pretty decent back and forth between these two teams. Next one's going to be Clam Blitz at the Scorched Gorge coming up here for Game 7.
Yeah, well, I do really appreciate this one. Honestly, it's been a staple since the game came out that we would have this one. So it's always a welcome sight. I don't think I've gotten tired of it yet. It's there's a lot of new gameplay strategies that move on as the weapon meta changes, but the map meta hasn't changed in a way that would phase this out. So,
did you see the changes they made for this map?
I don't think I have. I've seen a lot of them, but I haven't seen that one yet.
So there's like little tiny ramps along the side of that middle.
Oh,
area.
Maybe I have. But
I
why?
think that's it. I don't know.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. I haven't watched enough YouTube videos to see the breakdowns of how this changes everything in the scene. But yeah, that was one of the like gazillion different changes they made to all the maps randomly out of nowhere. But yeah, that's
It's like when they added a bunch of poles to things.
Yeah,
Just
that
a few
was
ramps here and there. Yeah.
yeah, some billboards.
They
hanging
did that to
down.
Umami too, right?
That Umami got like redone, like some actual areas added, not just like one ramp or something. Like the little area to the left of your spawn got extended. The zone kind of got like gerrymandered a little bit too. But we'll figure that out next week if that's if that's even in the map pool.
I don't think it is.
Oh,
Oh, it is. It is. It is.
Okay. So you and I could commentate next week, and then we'll see it. And then, but we'll see how
Sounds
that
like a
goes.
plan.
Sure.
I'll refrain from. Oh. Okay.
What?
I like just the
What?
cool transitions we had. You probably had the webcam view open, so you didn't see what I just saw. It was pretty neat.
I'm watching the game that just started. What do you mean?
Yeah, I was too.
I
just
thought you were
through the other
like
vision.
shocked by the loadouts that we see here. I'm like, they haven't changed
There's
anything.
nothing shocking about this whatsoever.
It's like what? Okay, so there's a little ramp right there. That's the only real difference. So I guess
Wow.
it's like less weird to get to the top of mid or something, even though it doesn't go all the way up. Regardless, the Slay Kings, the yellow team right here, in a great position, popping the basket, got some bunch of clams to follow up with it. It has the screen to at least keep Solstice honest and how they're going to defend this one. They are going to get below 60 this time around, so already this is the best Clam Blitz push they've had in this set, even though they won the last Clam Blitz game.
Yeah, I do like what's happening in general here. What are we doing though? I like it, but I don't know. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, the whole clam, but you know, you pick up the thing and then it transforms into a football for no reason, and then
Yes.
yeah, okay, right. I'm so glad you caught me up on that.
I was just confirming. I didn't catch you up. I was just confirming in case you might have got a little bit confused right here. It's very easy to kind of look at this game and be like, what the hell is any
at
of
my
this?
age, right? You know, at our age, right? It's like.
What do you mean
need
our
to-
age? I don't know how old you are. I don't ask.
I'm like old for the community,
That's
but not like
fair.
old like you old.
That's the yeah. I often think that myself. You know, I'm as old as me right now. That kind of sucks. 3 minutes left to go here. Same score put up by both teams. However, Slay Kings got there first, so the tie goes to them. As they look to get another push gun right here. It seems like, at least when it comes to Clam Blitz, Slay Kings has been the faster team when the windows present themselves. Usually you got like a 2-player advantage. Let's just start moving up there. Even we'll gather the clams along the way. We'll pop the basket, and then we'll just figure it out once we get to that spot. But so far, Solstice doing a good job, at least on this counter push, to make sure even if they get splatted, it's going to be a trade. So there's no easy window for Slay Kings to just kind of take control of things.
Yeah, that's kind of been the struggle bus for them. They're purple, right? Yes. Okay. Perfect. There's no names on screen. I was really struggling for a moment there. I just had a you know when you take an item away from a dog and they forget it exists entirely. That's what. Yeah.
That's what
Object
happened.
permanence.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
that is the thing. Yes.
Yeah.
So the yellow team here, Slay Kings, has a 1-point lead, has a Kraken built up. So there's no Kraken cheese, but there's Kraken strategy
Kraken.
that you can just use to move in here and then wait. And don't jump off the map, please. Thank you. Okay. And just clear out the way for your teammates to go in and push. You know, this is like normal, how you're supposed to play Clam Blitz. And it worked out right there. Penalty points gone, 30 remaining. Few more getting thrown in here. The hammer, that is the only thing they can really use for defense, is mowing down their players. Miguel doing a fantastic job of shutting that down and getting control of mid for Solstice. A minute 30 left to go. They're building up a lot of clams. 2 power clams ready to go. Interesting spot here for Solstice.
Yeah, we saw Miguel get really up close and personal with the members of Slay Kings there on that retaliation push. That Zuka's gonna come out, is gonna take down 2 members of Slay Kings. Lana Del Rey getting out of that basket. That's gonna be another dunk for them. They're gonna be pushing up a little bit farther. It's not gonna get them much reward, but they do have another. Why didn't Shockwave jump in?
I thought they did. I honestly thought they did because
that was easy lead,
there's
right?
a player right. Yeah, no, you're right. There was a player right there by the basket. With anything though, at least they didn't like, well, let's just try to rush in and try to get this thing going here. So they still hold on to this power claim and don't just ultimately throw it away. But yeah, it looked like there was a window there for them to get lead. Instead, they will opt to hold control of mid, unless they don't.
I'm not so sure about this one because now they need 2 whole power clams, right? Basically, more or less, just a little under that.
They need 2 and like 1. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. They need to get below 24.
It's not as bad as it initially looked, but now they have all the screen, they have the Kraken, the person with the ball is going to get targeted, they're going to have to play like, like some rodeo games over here with them. It's rough. Like, getting Kavi out of the way is just one minor thing for them, but 5 seconds left, they still have another clam under the basket, but like we said before, they're going to need a little bit more than that.
Well, they need some way to get through all this yellow ink in just a short amount of time, and that Zuka is not really going to be enough right there, ultimately getting a trade as 2 players go down. That is going to do it. I think we got 2 straight Clan Blitz wins for the Slay Kings. They are 1 win away from winning this set, and we got a 4-3 win in result of the Slay Kings right now.
Yeah, very, very close to this being a Game 9 set, though, at the same time.
Well, nothing changed with that. We were already guaranteed a Game 8, regardless of who won this one.
But still, it's been very back and forth, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good set.
It's a great set, even.
Both teams can say they're in the correct div because they aren't 5-0 in each other, so they can't complain about anything. Plus it's Div 1, there's nothing to complain about here anymore. So.
Well, I mean, if you put them both in Div 3 and they played each other week 1, then you could say the same thing.
No.
Why not? Because your reasoning is that they're even right now.
Yeah. So they're in the correct div, but
yeah. So if you put them both in Div 3 and they played each other week 1 and they were like this, the result would still be the same. Just the number would be different.
But they're both better than Persistence, so they can't be in a div below Persistence. So that's why
Stormy
I'm saying
catching
this is all.
Strays.
I never miss a chance. All right, I'm never gonna miss a chance.
Well, I was gonna beef with the seeding council if A2P did play, so it's fine.
If you made the right choice not to.
I think I did.
Yes.
Well, Rowdy was like, "You guys are gonna be Div 2," and I was like, "Going down is nuts," but like, that ain't right.
Oh, GG's Dan not readying up for the weapon like we don't know that they're going to be using InZap here in this Game 8.
Well,
which is going to be...
his name.
Oh gosh. Okay, so you said all the maps you don't like are already out of the way.
Yeah.
And we got Tower Control Undertow here.
I like it. Is there a problem with that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
You might be in the minority, but that's fine. Like, you don't have to agree with... You don't have to follow the trends of everything. Or, like go along with, like, the peer pressure of the community with what maps you should and shouldn't like. And they did change this one recently, right? The little middle areas now have that little, like...
Oh, they have that little cubby corner.
Yes, on each side. So it's a little bit more maneuverable through the middle section, which makes it better.
Yeah. That's oh no, I thought there was a change, but there is not. I think the biggest thing that has changed so far is just Umbri in like one game.
Area of effect, no matter what they end up doing right here. But set point here for Slay Kings, they win this one, it's over. If they don't, we're going to be going to a Game 9. But they seem to be the more aggressive team right off the bat right here. 2 players instantly going down from the side of Solstice. And this first checkpoint, which is just like right there, is already gone. So 1 checkpoint down, 2 more to go.
Yeah, I mean, hey, there it is. That's actually very impressive for this early on in the game. You can definitely sense how convicted they feel conviction to win this last game, right? They want to close it out here. They might like this map mode, and they might not like the ones right after it. So if I was in that situation as well, I'd probably not want to get stuck playing 2 map modes right after it that I don't think I have a better chance on winning.
I think they are saying in their VC right now, guys, believe in the conviction that we can win this one here. They're playing like it. They already cleared that second checkpoint, right? Like, yeah, that's the most frustrating one to get across, especially when there's ink strikes ready to go. So, yeah, this is looking fantastic here for the Slay Kings. Now, Solstice needs to start clearing out this. Beam jumping back right there, fair enough. But they lose a Wiper player in the process of that, too. Like, it's going to be so difficult for them to get control mid, especially when they only got 1 player left alive because they can't deal with this blaster right now. Slay Kings, and here's the problem Solstice is going to have to deal with. This is where Slay Kings smelling blood in the water is going to start playing really loose. They're going to start landing all these flanks. They're just going to start going for all these kills, and they're just going to like create a whole bunch of chaos that's going to force a stressed out team that's trying to stay in the set to try to react to all of these things. And it looks like Solstice isn't going to be able to do just that. Lana Del Rey trying to be the last player to hold down this push and keep this game going a little bit longer. Maybe they do.
Yeah, I think that's basically the goal for them right here. So that Hammer going to be making a lot of progress for the time being. Not quite able to clear out Umbri for the longest time there. As I was saying that kind of changed in the moment, but here we are. We're getting back on track a little bit for them. They do have a lot of progress to make. They're more or less going to basically be in a position to knock out if they do want any chance of winning this here. So you can kind of sense that they're playing a little bit hesitant here. They don't really want to make any major mistakes here. They don't really have the majority of the game to work with. So any mistake is going to be like amplified times 10.
And this is where if you're Slay Kings, you don't want to be making any mistakes either. You don't want to like overplay this and just allow them to get across right here. Give up this first checkpoint. What do they have to work with? They got the screen. No, screen's eliminated. So now they're gonna have to build up a Zuka to try to shut down this push right here. But you see Miguel trying to push up right there, and there's just nothing given. Can they clear the second checkpoint right now, though? This would be massive if they do. They cannot. Lana Del Rey kind of abandoning the tower right there, leaving Shockwave alone, who is so close to clearing it. Even if they got to push shut down, if they could just pass that checkpoint, it would have been great. 1 minute 30 seconds left to go right now. Slay Kings looking to bleed off all the time from the clock.
Yeah, that's ultimately going to be the game plan here. We are looking at what could very well be the very last game of this set. So just stalling for time as long as they can while they still have that 11 lead. In fact, bringing it even further than that is going to seal the deal for them. That Kraken coming out with that wall as well. We are ticking down in the single digits here. Is this going to be the knockout? And it is!
What? The awkward momentum of player gets splatted on tower, but they're still going to carry it all the way to the end with their corpse anyways, as GG Dan forces the tower onto that final checkpoint, and the Slay Kings end it right there before it gets to a game 9. Dominant from the very beginning, is able to shut down any of the pushes that were, well, the one singular push that was coming out from the side of Solstice, and everything lining up into their favor. They're undefeated in Division 1. How about that?
Well, it's, you said that with a lot of enthusiasm, as if that was like a big deal, as if we're not in literally week 1. Yeah. But I'll go with it. Let's go, undefeated.
Hey, it's Ludi. It's 11 o'clock at night. We're having a good time. This is exciting. People like Ludi. We're allowed to be excited about it.
I do. I feel like it's like the most loved-hated thing in Splatoon by far.
Well, it's such a thing. It's such a massive thing.
So it's controversial because yes, inherently, you know, I remember the days of estimated Div 2 was like the craziest thing you could ever say. You put it like in your bio when you weren't in Div 2.
Oh, that'll be everything in like a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah. I think the new Div 2 though has to be like Div X or Div 1 though. Estimated Div 1. Estimated Div X. We beat Orca Balestra once.
Shoutouts to Stormy in chat. Okay. You got the 29 checkpoint ledge thing correct. There you go. You got it over me.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. Wow, you guys, what a set though. I mean, look at this scoreboard down below. I mean, the ebb and flow is just insane for us to get to watch. Like, Solstice had a great opening, but then Slay Kings coming through, taking games 2 and 3. Solstice immediately putting a stop to that run, and then going ahead and flipping it on its head, and then making it into a 3-game run and ending the set tonight. I mean, geez Louise, we were all sitting here kind of being like, well, is it... Okay, well, now we're guaranteed a game 8. Okay, well, now we're guaranteed... Okay, now we're guaranteed this. Well, now we're just gonna keep on going. I mean, what a run for Slay Kings.
Ebb and flow. I love Splatoon. Woomy, 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 woomy. Sorry. That's all I've been thinking about for the last 10 seconds. You, like, caught my ADHD brain in a butterfly net by saying ebb and flow. I have brain rot.
Look, hi, Siren. Hi, Siren, brain rot here. Oh my gosh. Well, guys, that was a fun set to get to watch, and to actually listen to your analytical thoughts and commentary about it was really a joy from the back end as someone that doesn't get to broadcast as much. That was really fun.
What we just did was considered analytical. Did you listen to anything we said that entire time?
Yeah.
There's oodles here and there.
Yeah, there were really good nuggets. There's so many good nuggets. I was eating. I was feasting over here. But listen, on the interwebs and things, where can folks find you at Popcom? We'll start with you.
You can find me on my Twitch channel on I host a podcast, competitive Splatoon podcast, on Mondays at 6 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. We got a pretty heavy topic that we need to discuss on Monday, so I'm going to be spending the weekend writing that. But that's where you should be looking for me this upcoming future time on Monday. Siren, how are you? Where can people find you?
So you can find me on Metafy/GG/GGsDan.
Oh, right.
Yes. That's my Metafy. So like, if you want my coaching, then that's where you would go. That was me playing, by the way, a second ago.
Yes. I'm
really talented, so I've just been doing that this whole time as well. So.
And you're undefeated in Division 1, so
yeah.
I could definitely use some coaching from you for sure.
Yeah, it's a great idea. So if you want to be coached by me, a girl named Siren, you should go to Metafy /GGsDan. Or on Twitter, you can follow me at Siren Banshee. Otherwise, I think that's all I want people to find me on ever.
Don't find me at these places, actually. I would hope that you would just not perceive me. Okay, and for me, at Safirea, that's on Twitter and on Twitch and wherever else. I don't know, I work on boats a lot now, so you can also find me just in the ocean sometimes, if you want to go and check that out. But we do have a raid coming up for you here pretty soon, but that's going to be it for us tonight on the broadcast here. So thank you all so much. You are watching Ludi Tonight on SplatoonTourney. Have a good one.